everybody. Today we are going to learn how to crochet a simple beanie from the top down. I'm going to be using my His and Hers Crocheted Beanie pattern that you can find in my Ravelry store. All the links to the store are in the description bar below. So in order to start, this one will be a little bit different. I'll be using two colors. The original pattern is for a single color, but as you can imagine, there are multiple ways of doing the same thing. So you can obviously incorporate any number of colors that you want. So for this one, I'll be using these two colors. One is a gray worsted weight and the other is a maroon worsted weight, and they provide very high contrast. So I'm thinking of doing a color work sort of a pattern on this beanie of mine. So I just wanted to demonstrate how the techniques in the pattern go, and it'll be easier for a lot of you to follow the pattern if you have this video. If there are any steps that you're confused about, hopefully this video will solve those steps. So in order to start, I'll be starting with the light color, and I'm going with the gray. This is a center pull ball that I've wound by hand. If you want to learn how to do that, I have a video on my channel, so just go back on my channel and you will find that tutorial. In order to start, I'm going to start with a slip knot. So I'll put this out of the frame and we're going to start with the slip knot. So I'll just use the tail end and I'll turn my hand like that, and I'll hold across through my hand, put the tail behind, and I can see it through the loop. And now I'll just pull up that loop using I'm using a 4.5 millimeter hook. The pattern calls for a 4 millimeter hook, but these yarns are slightly thicker than what I had used for the original sample. So yeah, this is what I'm using for now. So in order to start, this is my slip knot. As you can see, pull the long end and it becomes larger, pull the short end and it becomes smaller. So we'll just start with 2 chains, 1, 2. Okay, and now we're going to make all the other stitches in that first chain from the slip knot. Okay, so now we are going to do 5 single chains in that first chain from the hook, not from the hook, sorry, from the slip knot, second chain from the hook. Okay, so this first single chain counts, this first chain, as in the second chain and the second chain that we made here, this one is going to count as the first single chain. Okay, and now we'll do 5 more in the second chain from the hook or the first chain from the slip knot. So I'm going to do 1. So okay, this yarn is a bit slippery, but yeah, I'll try to show you clearly. So that's 1. Okay, that's 2, and I'm doing left-handed today. You can always do whatever hand you're comfortable with. So 2. So 1 chain was already there, and I've done 2 single chains, single crochets. Okay, this is 3. This is 4. And 5. Sorry. So yeah, I've done the 5. And now I'm going to close the circle by slip stitching in the first chain, right? So the first one that we had made here, this one. So I'm going to slip stitch in there, and in order to slip stitch, I'm just putting the hook through. So let's keep this tail out of the way. I'll put the hook through the first chain. Okay, pull up a loop and draw that loop through the existing loop from the hook. So now I've closed the circle. Okay, and that's the close of the circle. So that's the beginning of the hat. And now we're going to move to round 2. So in order to keep track of the rounds and how many stitches we have in the round, we're going to place a marker, and it will be easier if you have a locking stitch marker or some kind of a tag that you can place here. So I'm going to look for that, and I'll be back to show you how the round 2 is going to be done. So now I have put my stitch marker on the slip stitch that I made in the last round. So total number of stitches that I have right now are 6, which is made up of 5 single crochets and 1 chain, starting chain that we had in the previous round. So now we are ready to start for our next round. So in order to do the next round, we need to make increases, and first round had 6 single crochets. So in order to make the increases for the next round, here is what we are going to do. We are going to work single crochet in the back loop only, SCBLO, that is the abbreviation for it. So in order to do that, I'm going to start with putting my hook through the first stitch, pulling up a loop. That's my first single crochet in the first stitch. Okay, now do the second one. Okay, then third, fourth, and we are doing only the back loops. As you can see from the V on top over here, I'm only using, this is the front loop, this is the back loop. I'll only be using the back loop. Okay, so we have done 7. Let's see how many have we done. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we need to do 6 more. That means 2 single crochets in each stitch from the previous row, but in the back loop only. Okay, so 10, and then this is the last stitch where the stitch marker is. Okay, and we're going to do 2 in this one. And now here is how we move the stitch marker. So I remove the stitch marker from the previous round. Okay, and then I'm going to make a slip stitch in the first stitch over here. Okay, this is how I make the slip stitch. Insert my hook, draw up a loop and pull it through the existing loop from the hook. So that is my slip stitch, and here is where I'm going to place my stitch marker now. Right, so this slip stitch is exactly above the first stitch of that round. Right, so now I have 12 stitches in this round. In the next round, I'm going to make another increase, but this time it will be 1 increase in one stitch and no increase in the next stitch. So it will be 2, 1, 2, 1. That will be the pattern. In the next round, it will be 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. So in each round, I'm only increasing 6 stitches. And that's how it's going to increase till the pattern tells you to move to the body. And the body will be only a spiral, so you'll be working round and round, moving the stitch marker up like this, like the same way I have shown you right now, and keep doing it for the desired length, and then slip stitch and you're done. And that is your beanie. It's very simple. So I'm going to do a few more rounds and come back and show you how to take gauge. Here I have completed my round number 6 and I have 36 single crochets in my round right now. The next round I will increase another 6 stitches and come to 42 stitches. But now I'm ready to take my gauge and compare it to the gauge of the pattern. So the way that I will take my gauge is, you see the flat size here, this flat size, this is not really a circle, it's a hexagon with 6 sides. So I'm going to take from one side to the other, passing through the center. So now when I try to look at this and get the gauge, I will see I need to take the gauge from the inside of the V over here to the inside of the V over here, and in this case I'm getting 3.25 inches. Next I will take from one point to the other, passing through the center, right? So here is my result. So if I take from one point to the other, passing through over here, inside of the V to the inside of the V, it's 3.5 inches. So my shorter gauge is 3.25 and my larger gauge is 3.5. Now I'm going to compare that with my gauge swatch in the pattern, the measurements that are given in the pattern. And if my measurement is larger, that means I'm using a larger hook, so I'll go down a hook size to shorten the distance and shorten the measurement and do this whole thing again. And if my measurement is shorter than what is required, then I have to go up a hook size, so I'll need to use a fatter hook to in order to get that gauge. So I'm going to start it again, and that's how I take my gauge for the hat. So once my gauge has matched and everything, I'm going to continue until my stitches are the number of stitches for my size, which is given in the pattern. And I'm going to show you a few more rounds of how I do the increases and how I slip the marker up, so that next time around you will not have any issues. Okay, so now as I said, I am on 36 stitches and now I have to start my round. So this is my slip stitch and this will never count in the round as a stitch, right? So I'm going to start from here, stitch number 1, single crochet in the back loop, and then in the same stitch another stitch I'll make, that is single crochet in the back loop. So those are 2 single crochets, and then I'll make 6 more, total of 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I made total 8 stitches, and that is one section. And then the next section again I'll start with 2 single crochets and go to 6 single crochets each in one stitch, and that will be 8 stitches again. And so I'll have like 6 sections of this, and that will be my 42 stitches. So let's see, how many have I made? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I need one more. So 2 sections are done. I'll do 4 more sections and I'll be back over here to show you how I move the marker up. I'm at the end of the round now and I have 3 more stitches to go. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm back at my slip stitch, and you see I always put my marker in the front of the V of my slip stitch, And now next stitch is my slip stitch. So I will pull this a little and I will make the slip stitch at the back because we're doing single crochet in the back loop only. So I'll do my slip stitch in the back loop and I'll just pull the yarn through. And now I'll take this marker off from here and put it in this one, front of the V of this one, being careful not to twist my stitch, and close the marker. And that's my slip stitch for this round, and that's how I move my marker up. So I will continue this hat working in the round for as many stitches that I'm required to have for my size, and then I will start working without increases in the round, and it'll basically be a spiral, but to mark each round, the beginning of each round, I will keep moving this marker up, and once I'm done for the desired length of my hat, I'm going to just make a slip stitch in the end, and that'll be it, and that'll be my finished hat. So this is how I start and finish my His and Hers Crocheted Beanie pattern, and you can follow the pattern in my Ravelry store. You can just get it from there. It's just $1. You can get it from there and just follow the pattern, and I'm sure you will be able to make one for each member of your family. It's so easy. So hopefully you'll find this useful, and we will meet each other again on my next video. Be sure to send me a note if you are looking for a particular technique and I can make a video of that. So let me know. And meanwhile, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to get notified of new tutorials and other videos that I post on my channel. So thank you so much, and all my information for social media, Instagram, Etsy shop, everything is in the description bar below. Take care.